The geeky affection for pop culture found in Nick Hornby books such as High Fidelity and Fever Pitch is the underpinning of Juliet Naked, a thoroughly entertaining and occasionally hilarious new Hornby adaptation. Set in the English seaside town of Sandcliffe, the film was actually shot in and around Ramsgate, the story centres on a typical Hornby character whose all-encompassing idolatry for an almost forgotten pop idol of an earlier era defines his life. He's a man obsessed. Duncan, Chris O'Dowd, teaches an American cinema course, but his primary interest is the music of Tucker Crowe, a legendary muso who had a hit album titled Juliet in the early 90s, but who disappeared during a gig in 1993. Meanwhile, the far more practical Annie works at the Sandcliffe History Museum and is busy preparing a celebration for the year 1964. One day Annie opens a package addressed to her partner, and out pops a CD titled Juliet Naked, which proves to be a raw, unmixed version of the Tucker's masterpiece. Risking Duncan's anger, she listens to it before she hands it over to him, and then she writes a critical review, which she posts on the internet. Who should read her opinion but Tucker himself, and he agrees with everything she says. Tucker, played with just the right degree of sleaze by Ethan Hawke, no longer works in the music industry. He's a pretty hopeless case, who lives in a garage located behind the house belonging to one of his several ex-wives. He's also the father to numerous children, so when Lizzie, Ayoola Smart, one of his daughters, makes him a grandfather by giving birth in a London hospital, Tucker decides to fly to England to meet the new arrival. And he also decides to make contact with the author of that perceptive critical piece on Juliet Naked. Thus, the stage is set for a screwball comedy that succeeds in being both very modern and comfortably traditional. Smartly paced and superbly acted, Juliet Naked can lay claim to be this year's brightest comedy to date. A scene set in a hospital where Tucker is visited by a variety of ex-partners and several of his progeny is one of the highlights in an easygoing and constantly diverting entertainment. I'm giving Juliet Naked 4 stars.